guys, what's up? Welcome back to another session by Titans University, and this is going to be one of the few training programs that will cover this particular aspect of the training. We are talking about something called as prospecting, and as the name implies, prospecting in Google Ads means to look at the prospects and look at the prospective results that you could get while not actually making changes to the campaign. I know I'm thoroughly confusing you now. So far, we have understood that creating campaigns according to a set of best practices will not only just make sure that your ads show to right people at the right point in time, it also makes sure that you make the right decisions for your campaign. So that is when you will come across things like keywords or placements or whatever you would want to choose for targeting your campaigns effectively. 80% of what you see in Google Ads and the results in terms of in terms of achieving results for your campaigns are in greater part dependent upon the targeting that you choose. You may have the best of the budgets, you may have the best of the structure, but if your targeting is not right, things get a lot messed up. So to avoid that, you are presented with a wide array of targeting mechanisms that you can go ahead and start targeting your campaigns with, right? So what you see on your screen is one such depiction, if I may say, for what you can go ahead and achieve in terms of achieving a right campaign, in coming up with the best campaign, right? So if you start looking at this is where you will start creating a campaign, and your campaign will make sure that it uses all the available targeting mechanisms, whether it's keywords, whether it's placements, whether it's topics, audiences, etc. You have topics and you have demographics and you have parental status, you have household income. So based upon all the things that you can target, audiences, etc., you will go ahead and structure your campaign and target it across a particular targeting segment that you anticipate will reach the right set of audiences, right? So don't you think that's what happens when we try and create Google Ads campaigns? We make sure that we find the right keywords, we make sure we find the right placements. But let me assure you something. Nothing is even remotely close to being 100% success with respect to digital marketing or online advertising. It's not. It's all a trial and game error, right? You keep trying until things work out or until you arrive at that magical situation where everything comes together and gives you the best of the results. Now, in those situations, when do you know if something is right? Or how do you know if whatever you decide today will come true or will work out good for you in the long run? It's very important to have a feature like that, right? Now, it's very important for me to understand that if Google can help me understand that if you add these keywords, maybe it will work in future without actually targeting it, right? Let me give you an example. Imagine trial rooms. If there were no trial rooms when you are shopping clothes, things would have been a mess. There would be more refunds and returns than actual purchases. So, what is a trial room doing there? A trial room is eliminating the hassle of something not fitting you when you actually buy it, right? Now, similarly, I don't want to target some things, but I just want to understand if it will work out good for me if I target those things. Now, how do you know that? It is available through something called as prospecting, and that is exactly what we will be looking at. Not just discussing about it, I will also show you how do you set that up in a live ads account, right? So let's get started. Now let's go over the situation again. I have a campaign. I have made certain targeting. I have got certain targeting elements together, and then in the hope that I will reach the right audiences. I may or may not reach audiences, but I needed something where if Google can tell me if this is the right amount of targeting, it'll solve a lot of problems for me. So one option that you have is to actually target whatever you have in mind. This boils down to the same situation where I will go here and start targeting whatever I feel like targeting, right? And then you have something called as to observe or to observation, where Google gives you an insight as to whether some things will work or not work if implemented. Is this actual targeting? No, you're not actually targeting here. You're just looking at things and you have just told Google, keep these things in mind and do an analysis for me because I would want to know if I include these things, will it work for me or not? Let's keep it very, very simple. I have a keyword called A, I have a keyword called B, I have a keyword called C that I have targeted for this campaign, right? Now I want to understand if I add a keyword or if I have a set of keywords called D, E, F. I want to know if these keywords will make a difference to me. So how would I know that? One is I have to add these keywords. But if I add these keywords, I have added, right? It is as good as targeting them. But I don't want to add these keywords. I don't want anything to get disturbed. I just want Google to keep an analysis going on these keywords and keep the observations ready for me. If the observation works out, I will go ahead and include it. If it doesn't work out, I will not include it. So I just want Google to help me with this methodology. So that's exactly what we will be talking about today. I have logged into the account. So what you see here is a Google Ads account. Let's go to an existing campaign. If you go to my campaign, which is existing, I have told you that you can apply these targeting and observation settings to any campaign. Alright, so I've got to audiences. Once I've gone to audiences, it'll ask me to choose an ad group. I choose an ad group. Let's say this ad group. You see how you see targeting and observation settings here. Now, targeting is where if I'm actually targeting something, which is not my goal, I'm only looking at adding an observation setting. So if I choose an observation setting and if I choose categories called activewear, skincare and exercise equipment. Now this is a keto diet campaign, and while I'm running a keto diet campaign, I have not targeted these settings yet, but I just want to Google to observe these things and let me know what happens if I include these without changing my reach, without changing anything on the campaign, because it's just observation, right? Because that's what I've selected here. So I've clicked on observation and I've said save. Now, if you see that I've added all these three categories called skincare, activewear, and exercise equipment, and it's an audience, and you'll see that it is under observation, right? So let's go to my campaign, select an ad group. All right. So if you say that, if you choose edit audiences, you have seen that this is an observation setting and this is a targeting setting. If I choose targeting, it's pretty much done. I have targeted it, but that's not what I want. I want to observe things. When I click on observe and I add exercise equipment, skincare and yoga apparel, for example, and I will say save, right? Now, if you look at what happens when you do that, look at this. I have added the audiences at the campaign where I have included three categories and I am using them to observe. There will be nothing that will be, my ads will not be shown to these audiences. I have not targeted these audiences. I am just using them as observation. Now, if you also want to observe what happens if you increase your bid by 20%, you can also do that. So if I include a bid adjustment of 20%, which means if I increase my bids by 20% by adding and also add this category called skincare products, what will be the expected number of clicks, impressions, etc. is called the prospecting strategy. This is available for all campaigns, at all audiences settings. Now you can also go to display campaigns. I have paused the display campaign so you will not find it. But let's try and experiment with edit audiences. Select an ad group. Let me choose an ad group that I have. This is a paused ad group, but still doesn't make a difference. Right. So there is a targeting and observation setting. I can choose observation and then I can simply select a category and add it just to observe what happens if I include this category. Right. Not just these. You can also go to observation and not just topics. You can also add placements. You can add other audiences. You can select different kinds of audiences and you can observe them, right? So that is pretty much how you would go ahead and apply your targeting or observation settings to the campaigns that you have in your account. I hope this session was helpful, and please write to me if you have any questions and I'll be more than happy to help you. My name is Casey, signing off. Until then, ciao.